News Channel 3 starts off with breaking news right now.
And we are following two big breaking news stories tonight at 6. New developments in a decades-old cold case murder and new revelations about the hours before a little girl's suspicious death. After 32 years, the death of Eric Cross is now in the hands of prosecutors, and we're learning that 5 people may have been involved in his murder.
But first, we are following disturbing new information tonight, just released in the death of a 4-year-old from Kalamazoo. Child Protective Services reveals the young girl was beaten and burned before she died. And News Channel 3's Nikki Zizaza was the only reporter in court today for a custody hearing and is breaking down these new developments live in Kalamazoo. Nikki.
Child Protective Services gave a disturbing account of the horror that they say happened before Charisma Richardson was found dead. And we heard those details right here in court. While investigators work to find out what led to Charisma's death, her mother, Davita Walker, was in court today for a preliminary examination to determine whether she's fit to have custody of her 3 other children. Child Protective Services revealing 4-year-old Charisma was beaten with a belt, punched in the face and chest, and suffered burns so badly her feet and hands had blisters. 2 of her children's fathers sat in court also, fighting to gain full custody of their sons after the suspicious death of their sibling.
That the department is requesting the termination of parental rights of mother. And as a result of that, I think that there is no way that the court can consider returning these young men to her, given their age and given the statements that she has made to the police about how she uses corporal punishment by punching and using a belt, and the fact that a 4-year-old daughter of hers in her care and custody died possibly from that abuse.
Andy and Kate, Kalamazoo Assistant Prosecutor Carrie Klein tells us a child abuse charge was initially submitted against Davita Walker involving Charisma, but was temporarily denied pending autopsy results. As for right now, the court found probable cause to remove Davita Walker's children out of her care. For now, we're live in Kalamazoo. Nikki Zizaza, News Channel 3.
And now to our second big story. News Channel 3 is the first to break a major new development in a cold case out of Vicksburg tonight.
The case has never been formally presented to the prosecutors with the intent of getting warrants and prosecuting someone, and we've reached that stage right now.
16-year-old Eric Cross was left for dead outside of his parents' home in 1983 after being either run over or dragged by a car. Police say those involved in his death may soon be held accountable, finally. News Channel 3's Alex Jokic is live outside the Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Office to tell us what we've learned just tonight. Alex.
Andy, for 32 years, Eric's killers have walked free, but that may soon change. The undersheriff tells me there are 5 people believed to be involved in his death, and now it's in the hands of the prosecutor. Police say a brick wall of secrecy has obstructed justice for Eric Cross for more than 3 decades. A wall that started crumbling following new developments News Channel 3 broke in the fall.
That crumbling action is what's brought this case to the prosecutor's office today.
If they wanted any questioning, I've always came in and answered all their questions.
After we revealed Brent Spalding, one of Eric's former Vicksburg High classmates, as a person of interest, the Sheriff's Department says it received a flood of new tips, and over the past 6 months, they've investigated new leads and performed dozens of interviews.
The case continues to be investigated. As late as this very moment, we're interviewing a witness in the matter, and that's something that, amazingly, 32 years later, continues to happen.
They're now sharing these 1983 crime scene photos with us that show Eric's shoe and watch thrown from his body. Sources confirm these are the other 4 people involved, either directly in the killing or indirectly in the cover-up. We asked the undersheriff about potential charges and any statutes of limitations on them.
That's part of the cover-up that occurred. Let's just cover this thing up, let statute of limitations run, and then we all get off scot-free. But there is no statute of limitations on murder. So any charge you do see will have murder as a central point. Conspiracy to commit the murder is every bit as guilty as committing it yourself.
The Sheriff's Department says they cannot share any further details on the case at this time. They understandably don't want to risk tainting the case, but we will, of course, stay on top of any new developments, and we'll let you know when charges are filed. For now, live in Kalamazoo, Alex Jokic, News Channel 3.
Well, tonight, News Channel 3 is reaching out to Eric's family about these new developments. His sister tells us she is thankful for the break in the case.
Yes, we'll be happy to know the truth. Yes, we'll be happy for Eric to be put at rest. But I almost feel like it's really the perpetrators and the witnesses now. It's their lives that they have to decide now which way they're going to go.
A look for much more from Eric's family tonight on News Channel 3, live at 10 on the CW7 and back here at 11.
Rain and even thunderstorms are moving into West Michigan tonight. As we take a live look over the South Haven Pier, it's a gorgeous evening out there.
Yes.
Looks nice, but you can see the flag is really whipping in the breeze, and the winds will pick up as those storms move in. Here with your forecast is Chief Meteorologist Keith Thompson in Severe Weather Center 3. Keith.
And some rain right now just off the lakeshore there in South Haven. In fact, let's get right to live Doppler radar on our 100-mile scan, and you see those showers developing just in the last 15 or 20 minutes. So let's get in close, cut into this area to show you where I'm talking about here, right down the lakeshore around Saugatuck and Finnville, also South Haven. And as these showers move off to the east, coming right off the lakeshore, moving in at about 25 to 30 miles per hour, they're going to be moving right into South Haven here at about 6:15. The showers right now that are just off of Saugatuck, they too will be moving into the lakeshore right around Finnville and Saugatuck, moving into Ganges at about 6:12, Douglas at about 6:17, Finnville at about 6:25. There's more rain where that came from, and I'll have it hour by hour for you coming up. Back to you, Kate.
Kate, thank you. The suspect accused of attacking a Hartford woman inside her own home is charged with 3 felonies, including assault with intent to murder. 38-year-old Daniel Woodruff has also been charged with armed robbery and home invasion. Police say he broke into an apartment at the McDowell Senior Complex in Hartford yesterday and stabbed and punched 61-year-old Charlotte Young. Young was able to call 911 and identified her attacker as the same man she had previously called about to police after seeing him roaming around her apartment last week. Young is in stable condition tonight. Woodruff is expected back in court next month. He faces life in prison if convicted. Muskegon
Heights police are searching for suspects after a person was killed in a drive-by shooting. Police say the shooting happened early this morning on Seaway Drive. They say one vehicle passed another car when the people inside one of those cars opened fire. The driver was killed. A female passenger was uninjured. So far, no one's been arrested. Anyone with information on this fatal drive-by shooting should call Muskegon Heights Police or Silent Observer.
A nonprofit in Portage that lends home medical equipment out for free is not getting all of its borrowed belongings back. They say it's either being returned late or not at all. News Channel 3's Logan Crawford joining us live with how the unreturned equipment is impacting others waiting for their turn to use it. Logan?
Kate, the way it works is pretty simple. You just drop by the office in Portage, Lending Hands of Michigan, and tell them what you need, whether that be a wheelchair, walker, or shower chair, and you can get it for free. But there's a 7-month period for how long you can borrow the equipment for, and now some people have to wait to get what they need because others are not returning the equipment they borrowed.
And we're wondering if we can get a wheelchair.
Connie Albrecht is at Lending Hands to get medical equipment for her mom, who has back pain and can't move well.
You could get a shower bench that will go in the tub and she can kind of slide in. So I said, okay, and they have it.
Albrecht is one of thousands of Lending Hands clients.
Various kinds of toilet seats, various kinds of bath seats and walkers and wheelchairs galore.
It's all free for 7 months. But the nonprofit tells News Channel 3 about 10% of their clients don't return the equipment they borrowed.
Unfortunate that it's not returned because there's so many people that need these things that can't afford it.
Lending Hands is working to track down the unreturned equipment. Last year, more than 400 items were never brought back. The cost to Lending Hands, more than $17,000. And since the business started in 2005, $200,000 worth of equipment has disappeared.
Where's your card?
Over here.
Bobby D. Reich is borrowing a wheelchair for her sister-in-law. She says she plans on returning the equipment on time.
Hey, I have a target date of return, and I'm thinking that I can perhaps
work out another plan for her own wheelchair eventually.
Lending Hands of Michigan is always looking for donations, and if you're interested, you can visit our website, WWMT.com, to see what sorts of things the nonprofit needs. Live in Kalamazoo, Logan Crawford, News Channel 3.
And when we come back, a state senator is working to make LGBT students feel more comfortable at school, but not everyone is a fan of the plan.
Well, you're watching News Channel 3. Michigan's infant mortality rate is down, according to the State Department of Health and Human Services. The update comes with the release of the 2016-2019 Infant Mortality Reduction Plan, looking to improve life for infants in their first year of life. The state rate is currently down to just under 7 infant deaths per 1,000 live births. The goal is to have the rate at 6 by the year 2020.
Police can now pull over motorists whose license plates are obstructed. That ruling came down yesterday from the Michigan Supreme Court. The decision overturns a Michigan Court of Appeals ruling that suppressed evidence seized from a truck that was pulled over because police couldn't read the plate. The driver argued his Fourth Amendment protections against unreasonable search and seizure were violated. That driver is meeting with his attorney to discuss appealing the U.S. Supreme Court decision.
A township supervisor is facing felony charges tonight for embezzlement. Tonight, we learn who he is accused of taking money from.
Welcome back to News Channel 3. I'm Andy Dominiani.
I'm Kate Tillotson. A township supervisor recently found himself facing a judge inside a county courtroom.
That supervisor is learning that he is now charged with embezzlement.
News Channel 3 investigative reporter Cody Combs is looking into the embezzlement charges and seeking answers in St. Joseph County.
Sherman Township Supervisor Bruce Bard is accused of embezzling from the Fraternal Order of Eagles in Sturgis. That's a nonprofit organization for which he volunteered. According to court paperwork we obtained, Bard is charged with stealing anywhere from $1,000 to $20,000 from the organization. That's a felony in Michigan. Today we stopped by the organization's lodge in Sturgis to try and get more details. We are told the lodge is still open and operating like usual. A trustee did come out and give us a brief comment on the embezzlement charges they're accusing the Sherman Township Supervisor of.
At this time, it's in the prosecutor's hands, and we're being advised not to say anything, give any response to possibly jeopardize the case.
We tried to speak with Sherman Township Supervisor Bruce Bart, who then referred us to his lawyer. His lawyer said, quote, he pled not guilty and was arraigned in the Centerville District Court. He maintains his innocence, and at this point in time, we ask that people be patient so all the facts can come forward. As for what happens next, Bart is now expected to appear in court again on April 12th at 9 a.m. In Sherman Township, I'm investigative reporter Cody Combs, News Channel 3.
If you have a story that you would like the News Channel 3 I-Team to investigate for you, send us your tips to iteam@wwmt.com.
The Michigan Board of Education is proposing some voluntary guidelines that they say will make LGBT students feel more comfortable in school. But now there's a bill to try and block that plan. Some of the guidelines include letting students go by the name that they choose for themselves and choosing which bathroom to use. But State Senator Tom Casperson announced Tuesday that he'll be introducing legislation against those guidelines. The bill, which has been requested but not introduced technically, would require Michigan students to use bathrooms and locker rooms that match their birth gender. Senator Casperson issued this statement saying, quote, in the pursuit of social justice, this so-called draft guidance document creates numerous problems, from the elimination of parental authority and notification to threatening student safety and beyond. My bill would stop this policy dead in its tracks. State Representative John Hoadley says he's against Casperson's bill.
The fact that we have reactionary legislation coming in, similar legislation that was either vetoed in South Dakota, similar legislation in Georgia that was defeated in Tennessee, and now we're seeing a national backlash in North Carolina. Come on, let's stop doing this in Michigan. We are past this.
Casperson plans to introduce the bill when lawmakers return to session in April.
Weather is going to be a bit stormy for us here in West Michigan as we have some rain and thunderstorms that'll be moving in. In fact, check this out. We could see up to 2 inches of rain before all is said and done. That's going to be Thursday evening, tomorrow evening into Friday morning when things start to change just a bit. And some of those storms, by the way, also could be quite strong. Let's go to live Doppler radar, and you notice watch how things go from quiet. All of a sudden, we see this area of rain blossoming and thunderstorms right now just to the north of Grand Rapids. We're going to zoom in close to show you where we have rain right now in Finnville and Saugatuck. South Haven, wouldn't be surprised to have a rumble or two of thunder here coming up shortly. So let's track this for you here as it continues to slide off to the northeast, moving out of Finnville at about 30 to 35 miles per hour, coming through Finnville and eventually moving into central Allegan County, and then eventually Hopkins and also Wayland here, skirting just to the north of you there in Allegan, although we will see some of these showers moving out of South Haven as well. They're going to be approaching Allegan too, moving right in to the South Haven area here over the next 10 to 15 minutes and sliding off to the east. All right, let's slide our radar up just a bit to show you where we have this cluster of thunderstorms right now just to the northeast of Comstock Park. Again, we tracked that for you as well. That too is going to be moving into Belding here in about another 10 to 15 minutes as it moves into Ionia County and also southern Montcalm County. Now, let's get a different view here as we get out wide. And we're tracking more showers and thunderstorms right now just to the south of Kankakee and south of Chicago as well. And as we track this for you, moving out of northeast Illinois, looks like that's going to be moving into the Kalamazoo area here in a couple of hours, 2 to 3 hours. So by about 8 or 9 o'clock tonight, I think we'll start to see those showers and thunderstorms generating here. In fact, let's go with our hour-by-hour model, and you'll see that as we start our clock here at 6 o'clock tonight with a few of those showers developing. Notice by the time we get to midnight, we'll have already had one round of rain moving through. Overnight, more rain. Best chance for those thunderstorms will be tomorrow, especially in the afternoon, and particularly so if we see some clearing in between storms. That'll generate some more warmth, and that'll just give more fuel for those thunderstorms to be developing. And by the way, an area, let's say from around South Haven to Allegan to Battle Creek, southward, including Kalamazoo, Coldwater, Three Rivers, is where Storm Prediction Center says there is a slight risk for severe weather tomorrow. Well, right now, mainly cloudy in Kalamazoo, 59 degrees, a south wind at 17, 60 in Battle Creek, Three Rivers, and Coldwater. Most of West Michigan now tucked in between the mid-50s and 60 degrees. We're going to be around 58 for a low tonight. In other words, our temps won't be going down much, if any at all, with that rain moving in, storms overnight, and look at that wind really starting to pick up out of the south at 20 to 30. For tomorrow, rain and thunderstorms. Some of those storms could be strong, and there could be some periods of heavy rain as well, with a high of 68. Boy, the bottom falls out of our temperatures back behind this rain. Friday, only upper 40s. We could even see some light snow on Saturday and once again on Monday as it gets quite chilly for the first week of April. Hey, look at this pure Michigan sunset. Got to share this with you from South Haven. Thanks to Mark for sending that in. Looks a little bit different out there right now with the clouds and also the showers. Kate?
Okay, Keith, thank you. Here's a look at what's coming up new tonight at 10 on the CW7 and at 11 here on News Channel 3. A 14-year-old boy is critically ill after crashing his family's UTV. Tonight, what caused his health to deteriorate so fast and the one thing that likely saved his life.
And still ahead, a new discovery takes us back in time. Some never-before-printed photos of downtown Kalamazoo. Plus, the hashtag #NoFreeBases has led to early season success for the Western Michigan baseball team. Brian Kaufman has more on what it means next.
The beginning of the season maybe didn't go as Western Michigan baseball planned as far as wins and losses are concerned, but in one facet of the game, there's no team in the nation that's better. Right now, the Broncos lead the entire country in team fielding percentage. It's thanks in large part to the team's mantra, which has become a Twitter hashtag, no free bases. The team's made only 10 errors through 22 games this year, good for a .987 fielding percentage. It's quite simple. If teams can't advance on the base paths against you, it's going to be hard for them to score. And that is something head coach Billy Gernon says he's been preaching for a long time.
We kind of carry a mantra around here of no free bases. We always have since I've been hired. We've always put an emphasis on defense. We're taking care of the baseball, and it's very hard to score on us. So we can keep our guys throwing strikes. The 9 behind them want to play defense, and that gives us a lot of hope.
All of our goals that we set at the beginning of the year, they're still out there. I mean, we're making strides, heading in the right direction. Some things are coming along, so we're definitely getting back on track.
Right now, the team is 7-15 on the year. They're on the road this weekend to open MAC play with a 3-game set at Kent State. When we first brought you the news a few weeks back, the Western Michigan forward Connor Tavey decided to transfer and play the final season of his college basketball career elsewhere. Now we know where elsewhere is going to be. Tavey has decided to transfer to Boston College, where he'll play in the ACC and alongside former high school teammate A.J. Turner. Tavey averaged 12.6 rebounds per game as a junior for the Broncos, was preseason All-MAC this year, but missed the season due to injury. Well, one of the big positions of need for the Lions this offseason is definitely offensive line. Today, they beefed up that unit. The team announcing that it signed Jeff Schwartz. Schwartz played the last 2 years with the Giants, also spent time with the Panthers, Vikings, and Chiefs. He primarily plays guard, so the Lions still could potentially go tackle with an early pick in April's NFL draft. Something to keep an eye on.
Sounds good. We know you will.
Always good to talk NFL.
Oh, yeah. It's NFL season year-round.
Year-round, right?
Yeah. You know, the weather, it's storm season, it looks like for us. So we're going to look at live Doppler radar right here to show you. We have an area of rain right now moving out of Holland and toward Allegan. You'll hear a rumble or two of thunder just watching our lightning detector over the last 10 minutes or so. We've seen 1 or 2 bolts pop up around the Allegan area, also to South Haven. More showers moving in later tonight.
All right, well, finally tonight at 6, a newly discovered batch of photographs gives us a look back in time downtown Kalamazoo. Dozens of black and white negatives were recently donated to the Kalamazoo Historic Preservation Commission by a local family.
Yeah, they feature the buildings and the people of downtown Kalamazoo in the mid-20th century. To learn more about how you can check out these photos, see them up close, visit our website at WWMT.com.
Need to see the Burdick Hotel, Hanselman building, and the mall when it was traffic before it was closed and reopened.
Yes.
All that cool stuff.
Yeah, very cool.
All right, that'll do it for us. Thanks for choosing News Channel 30.
And we'll be back at 10 and 11. We'll see you then.